Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy and I have my mid-year book tag. So I've been seeing these videos go around quite a lot, like the past couple of weeks, and I thought, do you know what, I might actually do one of them, because I mean I've never done one before, so this is the first video for me, but I thought, why not, might as well. I got the questions up from a Facebook, no, not Facebook, a website. I can't remember what website it is. I literally just put in mid-year book tag 2025 and then I just copied the questions. But these are the exact same questions that Charlotte Graham used on her book tag, which I watched last night, which gave me the idea to do this in the first place. So I thought I would, give it a go. So obviously here we are. Here's my mid-year book tag. Really hope you enjoy. So the first question on the list is, what is the best book of my year, the best book of the year so far? And for me, that is definitely Sorrows and Starlight by Suzanne Valenti and Suzanne Valenti and Caroline Peckham, as people call them, the Twisted Sisters, which and that is the 8th book in the Zodiac Academy series, and that is literally my book of the year so far. It might change in the next couple of months, but I don't think it will, because I absolutely fell in love with that book. I couldn't believe it. When I was reading it, I was tandem reading it, so I was reading that and then Beyond the Veil at the same time, and even though there was one chapter in there and it literally made me bawl my eyes out, even though the same chapter happened in the other book, it didn't come across, because I read it first in that book. And obviously because of the heightened emotions that I felt while reading that book, that is the reason why at the moment it is my best book of the year. Question number 2. So next question is best sequel I've read so far, which is absolutely definitely Where the Library Hides by Isabel Inez. I think that's how you say her last name. I loved that book. I loved What the River Knows because it's literally the mummy / Death on the Nile, and I really, really enjoyed it. So when I read the sequel this year, I was like, oh my god, this is brilliant. I fell in love with it. So that is definitely my top sequel of the year so far. And third one is a new release you haven't read yet. I have that on this month's TBR, and that's Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. I don't have the copy at the minute. I have ordered it. I don't have it to hand. I have all of her books up there and I've loved every single one of them. And this is Rio's story, and I'm really, really excited because you see Rio in every single book, and he's just a lovable character, and I really want him to get his happily ever after. I really, really do. So that is going to be my new release that I haven't read yet. Okay, so my most anticipated book for 2025 is definitely Brimstone by Miss Callie Hart. I loved Quicksilver. That nearly beat Sorrows and Starlight for Book of the Year, because it was the first book I read actually as well this year, and obviously it was all like massively like hyped up and everything, and obviously Holly was reading it and Alex was reading it, and I just had like the most rubbish new year of my entire life, and it really like got me out of my little like slumpy dust, and I really, really enjoyed it. I literally had a week off in January because my hotel that I work at was shut for a week for like refurbishments and stuff, and I literally read it in that week. So I was like, I'm going to read it in this week. I am going to do it, and I loved it. I annotated the heck out of that book. I loved it. Okay, so next question is biggest disappointment of the year so far. Definitely When the Moon Hatched. I was so hyped up for that book and I was so disappointed. So disappointed in that book. I don't know why. To me, it was just so bad. It just dragged. There are so many people that have like mega hyped up and like given it like 5 stars, whereas I was just like, okay, right, so where's the hype? Come on. So obviously it's my opinion. and I really didn't like it. There was another disappointment that I had this year, which was the Ruthless Vows. So obviously the Divine Rivals is the first one, and then I actually was more disappointed in that because I DNF'd the book about halfway through. It kept going and going and going, and I was like, nope, I can't read this anymore. So I was like, no, I'm not doing it to myself. And I thought to myself, this year I am going to be more of a DNF book if I'm not enjoying it. And I really wasn't enjoying it. I mean, I really liked Divine Rivals. I mean, it wasn't the best book I read, but it was good. But then the ending really annoyed me because it's a one trope I don't like. And then that trope just carried on throughout the second book. And I was like, nah, I'm not reading this. Okay, so next one is my biggest surprise of the year. That's Lightlark by Alex Ashter. I went into this book by simply seeing a fan art on TikTok. And that's the only reason why I read it. And I loved it. It was so good. Even though it was YA, I loved the trials. I loved like everything behind it. I loved Grimm. I loved her. It really, really surprised me of how much I enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to like it that much. And that did really surprise me. My next question is my new favourite author is definitely by far at the minute this year Elsie Silver. That / Chantal Tessier, because they are two new authors that I've started reading this year. Obviously, I've read the whole of the Chestnut Spring series now. I've completely finished it. Book 1 to book 5, absolutely loved them. Didn't quite get on with Powerless, even though I love like hockey romances. I just didn't really like where that relationship went, and it really irked me about like how she was with like her family, and I was like, come on girl, stick up for yourself. And then obviously with the Lord series, I have literally just finished Carnage, which I gave 3.5 to, and not my favourite again, but obviously all the rest. So my two my new favourite authors are probably this year are Chantal Tessier and Elsie Silver. My new favourite character, definitely Grimm. I loved him. He was brilliant. It literally, I annotated Lightlark, and then I gave it to Holly to annotate, and we literally were like, we love Grimm. Grimm is awesome. Yes, so Grimm is definitely up there on the new favourite characters. Now, this next question is hard because it's what my new favourite ship is, so like couple, and obviously it's a couple that's in the Zodiac Academy, but they don't really get together until like book 7, so I don't know if I want to say it. If you've read the Zodiac Academy, I'll put a timestamp up here of where to skip to if you haven't. Okay, so my favourite new ship are Seth and Caleb. Oh my god, I love them so much. I mean, I hated Seth in the first couple of books. He was so annoying. He was mean. He was cruel. The only one I really actually liked out of all 4 boys, like from the first get-go, was Caleb, because even though he was a like complete and utter asshole, he would always question what they were doing. He'd be like, come on, let's give it a rest now. And also because of the fact that Tori was his source and that. But Seth was cruel. I mean, he literally did the most horrific thing to Darcy, and then they did enough absolutely horrific thing to Tori. But they kind of like redeemed themselves as the books go on, and then you suddenly start to see like the connection between him and Caleb, and everything, and how they get jealous, and the fact that Caleb bought him like the moon like ticket, and he went to the moon and everything like that. And when they got found by their parents, oh my god, that was so funny. It was like the best thing ever. I loved it. I literally was screaming. I was like, ah, oh my god, and I couldn't believe it when they got together. I literally got onto Holly and I was like, oh my god, they've just got together. So they are my new favourite ship of the year. Okay, so next question. A book that made me cry. Sorrows in Starlight. Hands down. I blubbered like a baby throughout that book. I was like, oh, because of what happens in there, and like what happens at the end, and then throughout the whole book. And I mean, I cried like a baby. I mean, the thing is though, yes, okay, they're at an academy. I mean, as the book goes on, there's a war. So there are going to be like deaths of characters, but when like certain characters die and that, it just, and then the fact that obviously like some of the other characters and I was just like, and I was a absolute complete blubbering mess throughout that whole book. I have not started the last book yet, number 9. Me and Holly are waiting because it's the last book in the series and we don't want it to end. We said that we probably might read it at some point. We was going to say try read it in August, but I don't really want to read it with the kids around. So, yeah, we're not going to read that one just yet. It might be read by the end of the year, and then I can say that I read the Zodiac Academy series. Okay, next one. A book that made you happy. Heartless and Reckless by Elsie Silver. Heartless because I absolutely loved Willa. The way she was with Cade's son, I mean, come on. You don't take on a kid and then, and I mean, it was just the way that she defended him. I mean, literally, the pool party. If you've read the book, then you know. There is one quote in that entire book that I absolutely loved, and that is when Willa goes, "Be careful who you mess with, someone might love them." And I'm just like, yes, yes, Willa, absolutely. You are the star. And the fact that the way that the book started as well, and then he kept them as well. And then obviously with Reckless, obviously that's Winter's like, it's like, so her redemption. So it's like her redemption book because obviously in the first one, she's like, obviously she's Summer's sister, so she's a bitch. She's an absolute bitch. But at the end of the day, she couldn't help it. It was the way she was brought up with, like through her mum and that, and obviously you get to see her make. I mean, yes, okay, I love her and Theo, but the relationship she then had with her sister, to be honest, that is probably one that made me cry as well because of the like the sisterness of it all and the bonding of that and that, and obviously the fact that it was quite funny as well. Obviously, when she was like pregnant and everything, and then like he was like acting like he didn't know, and he didn't know. So, yeah. Okay, so the most beautifulest book I've brought this year. I have it here. It's going to be backwards. But that is Rose in Chains by Julia Soto. This is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Not only that, but the thing that sold it for me was this. I mean, it's like a Hermione fanfic, like on the page. I think this is a Hermione fanfic. I'm not 100% sure, but this is giving me the vibes. And then this, but then that there, my friend. And it is absolutely stunning. It is literally my favourite that I've got. So technically, yes, okay, it's a subscription box, but I bought it and I got it this year. And also look at the back, it's got a fox on it. I'll put that back in the dust jacket in a minute. Okay, so the last question on my list is which book do you want to read by the end of 2025? The Invisible Life of Adelie LaRue by V. Schwab. Me and Holly have had The Invisible Life of Adelie LaRue on our TBRs every year since 2021. It's now 2025. We are determined to finish that book by the end of the year. I don't know when I'm going to read it. I will read it this year. I'm really hoping I'm going to read it this year. I'm determined to read it this year, whether I do or not. And we then said that if we don't read it by the end of this year, we need to get rid of, I probably maybe need to get rid of our copies. But I don't know if I'll be able to do that because I really want to read it. And I've heard so many good things about it. I know there's like a bit in the middle that kind of drags a little bit. But isn't that the same with like every book normally? But then it picks up and then that's fine. But yes, the most wanted read book to be read by the end of 2025 is The Invisible Life of Adelie LaRue. And I'm excited. Okay, so that's all the questions that I have on my mid-year book tag. Please like this video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.